Hello, everyone. Welcome in.
Hello. There we go. Welcome in, everyone. Hello, I am Chef Jay Tay. Happy to see all of you. Thank you for the new follow. I've obviously never heard a name like that before. Hi there. Happy Friday, everyone. How we doing? It's the end of the week. You can relax. It's the weekend. Let me know how it's going. We're doing chicken tonight. But we're doing chicken and cheese and onions and peppers. You could almost call it a chicken cheesesteak, but maybe gourmet? I don't know. And then we're stuffing it into bread and baking it. Should be delicious. Welcome in, Mo Poker. Hello, happy to see you, Mimic. Man, that scramble's just the worst. I am so frustrated. Like, I went bash my head against the prompt wall this morning. Thought I had set everything up so that I could properly update my streams instead of having to rely of them going onto the calendar and having like a command I could update them with. No, it just lied to me. It said it changed everything and didn't change a goddamn thing. Oh, hi there. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Friday to you. I hope you have a great weekend in store. Cheers. Alright, let's start with making some bread. Let's make some bread. Start off with some warm water here and scaring off the hummingbird at the window. Throw some yeasties in with our warm water. Give them a touch of sugar, make them all happy. Whoa. Got a little excited there, apparently. That's how you get that homegrown taste. I'll lose all this yeast, oh well. Good thing it reproduces quickly. You'll work for this. You're still drying off though. Adding a cup of flour, of bread flour, another half cup of bread flour, and a half cup of AP flour. Yeasties are awake. We'll give them a little longer to do their thing and make sure there's enough yeasties in there. Add some potato flake to this. Some it's not in the smaller bin. Something in with the potato flakes there that... Oh well, I'm going with it. Need some salt. And do I want to enrich in my bread tonight? I don't have any warmed up butter to do that with, though. Maybe we'll skip that. So we add our yeast and water in with our flour. I know it's complex. Are you following? It's about as complex as keeping things in a bowl or a little container. You would think, yeah. Hello, Soph. Welcome, welcome. I'm doing okay. Other than being royally frustrated with AI not doing what I want it to do. And yeah. Fix this error. I've noticed you have these other 40 errors that I didn't even mention. Let me mess with those instead. Let me create a problem that doesn't exist and crash your entire system. Not quite that bad, but... part of my day was fixing a corrupted SD card. That I sort of want to blame on the LLM not doing anything all day today. And I can see the dinner command completely didn't follow what I told it to be either. It's just repeating what's... like, I gave it a dinner command to use. And it's just vomiting the same stuff that's in the calendar again. Saffron, pistachios, and rosewater. That needs more kneading. You have one of those at home mixers? Or maybe you're using a creamy? I don't know how international those are. Dough's feeling nice and elastic tonight. There is a sort of like feeling of accomplishment when you do actually do a little of the churning work yourself versus just flipping to some machine to go burr for the next 20 minutes. Or listening to this thing, which I mute my stream if I ever use my Ninja Creamy on stream, because this thing, like, sounds like the house is vibrating if I turn this on. It's worse than the coffee grinder. But I have this old little one that's on the top corner of the refrigerator that is one of those freeze the core and you can turn your hand, spin it. I still keep that thing around even though it's ancient, fallen apart, and been well used and loved. I still use it occasionally. Even when I have creamy for like super fine. Yeah, creamy is like the home version of a Paco Jet. It's cheaper in many ways and questionably better in others, despite not being $5,000. They're about $200. They want to sell you the soft serve one, which I think is a waste of money, though. That's a bummer. Yeah, and like, it's got me wondering about your boss's money ideas, though. Like, you must not make any money on your ice cream. Like, because, like, that's something like, okay, I want that overnighted. Yeah, the soft serve version is essentially just like you use the creamy like it is normally. Like, so you already have the ice cream like it is normally out of the creamy. And then it's just got the second thing on the side where you take that same container that you already finished making, you put it in there, and then it dispenses it like it's a soft serve machine. Not worth. And it's like $50 more. Eventually they stop making it. Yep. Well, you got problems like that you got to deal with. Like, that's going to knock you out for 2 weeks. I have no idea what a replacement creamy blade is. I can't imagine it being break the bank. Like, I imagine it's NSF expensive. Like, probably $50, $100. But $50 or $100 to tell your customers that something on your menu isn't there for weeks. Or rewrite your menus, or Alright, so olive oil coating our bread. So what's next? Chicken? I think chicken's next. Not in love with the smell, but it's not end of the world. But it's definitely been in my fridge a couple of days. I wonder if turnover is a turn off for people or not. Like, I was torn on if I should call tonight's stream a turnover or a calzone, or like there's certain things that really don't make it a calzone, and there's certain things that make it not really a popover from my mind, or a turnover from my mind either. But my mind of a turnover is sort of what Arby's made, because I grew up in America and not Britain. Salt, pepper, and garlic. Start heating our pan up. Throw a little cooking oil in there with it. So I went with turnover because it was a little bit different sounding. That's sort of how it happens. It's certainly like a house of cards things with restaurants, especially like corporate restaurants, with my limited experience in corporate restaurants, is they're like many other corporate things. They're very willing to just cut the arm off if something isn't working. And So if you have a business where things are underperforming and they're not going to sit there and play games trying to figure it out, they're just going to cut the head off. They're going to get rid of the chef. They're going to get rid of some of the key head people. And then half of the other people are going to roll because things are changing. You also have things in that same world, like I would recommend this for anyone opening a business, but definitely in the corporate world, when they're opening a restaurant, they hire twice the staff they need. Because they're going to lose at least half of them in the first week. It's just because people sign up for things they're not really interested in doing. Yep, that sounds right in line with, let's just not serve ice cream because we don't have a blade. Of course, at the same time, the bosses may be making him jump through, fill out 50 forms for a requisition. Or some silliness, but, like, something there ain't right. Ah, wrong scene. My hands are all soapy now. And it didn't work. There we go. That was strange. Like, the Stream Deck is software based. And this is not the first time I've noticed this happening. It doesn't happen a lot, but I definitely pushed that button. I definitely pushed that button so that the actual video showed the depression animation of you pushing on the button. And then it didn't do anything. Teaching the new chef to use Excel, yeah. Now that right there is an example of my problem in life where I went to a top-end culinary school. I know all sorts of stuff about the culinary world. Ooh. J Random, thank you for that resub. And actually telling everyone they're getting sprinkles when people get resubbed. Yes, you announce your resubscription and everyone gets sprinkles. That's always been happening, but now the bot says it. What you're saying there, Gold, is more of a problem with me. Like, those same people that'll cut the head off in that, they're going to hire the dishwasher that's been with them for 10 years to be their next chef. They're not going to pay for someone with an actual education and knows what needs to do because they want to tell them what to do. That said, there's not enough corporate restaurants around here for me to even really... There's nothing in Napa or here. Oh, there's a couple in Napa, but a lot of it is... We don't have any of the major restaurant chains that I can think of as far as like fine dining, sit-down restaurant stuff that I'm thinking there. Something along like Hillstone or something along that line. It's actually sort of surprising there isn't something like that in Healdsburg. But it is sort of like what all of the towns around, like, no chains. Yeah, well, that's labor, though. That's like paying for someone to cut out little circles. Nope, that's not what I want to use. We're going to use you. And we're going to use you. The real apple cider vinegar tonight. It is depending on the route, like, that's, for a large part in the last 2 decades, that's been how you make money. You take some well-established idea in the food world and then take the labor out of it. Welcome in, Nan Reader. That or you make the labor so dumb and easy that you can hire the stupidest, cheapest labor you can find to do it. But in many cases, these restaurants are already paying minimum wage, so... Alright, so apple cider vinegar. Red wine vinegar. What did I do to the lid to this? It took me all of 20 seconds to lose the lid to the bottle. Alright, and we're doing some red pepper flake for a little bit of heat in here. So, and our vinegar. If you're having trouble with your sinuses, go ahead and breathe a little bit of that in. I'm sure it'll, loosen up your sinuses right quick. Maybe even better than the Crocodile Dundee Coke and water solution. This might clean up your sinuses even quicker. I'm also going to add a half cup of water in with this. Which immediately killed that bubble. It'll be back quick. Now we gotta cut up some onion and pepper. I'm sitting here wondering what percentage of my audience has seen that scene. And compared to the rest of Twitch, I suspect it's a higher percentage. Am I calling you old? Yes. Yes, I am. I'm sorry, I know you're not supposed to tell a lady you're old. It's getting steamy in here all of a sudden. I need to turn on some fans. Did you tell him all the times he gave me a headache? Howard looking chicken, you still cooking? Let's give you a flip. Make sure you're cooking on both sides. Nope, you're done for. No thank you, onion. Let's hope we don't go for two. Because there isn't a third. Arg. I don't have any other onion. Boo. Onion. You want some of that? So that's sort of a bummer. I was going to spend the next 10 minutes here cooking down the onions and peppers, and now I don't have onions and peppers. I got peppers, but no onions. What would you do? Nope, that's not gonna work either. Ooh. Hi, Pauline. Old Pauline. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Raiders. I am Chef Jay Tay. Happy to see all of you. Happy Friday to ya. I'm currently working on cooking some chicken thighs in 2 types of vinegar with a bunch of seasoning. There's some garlic, some red pepper flakes, some salt, some pepper. That's all bubbling down. We're gonna cook that until the chickens sort of fall apart. I've also got some dough here resting and doing its thing. I was just chopping up some peppers. And I was going to cook some onion with my peppers, but Raiders, you're just coming in, you missed this. I just went 2 for 2 with onions being nasty. I don't have any more onions. So we're doing chicken and peppers with Gruyère, and then I'm going to be wrapping it in this dough and baking it up together. Muskeg, thank you for that resub. I'm not sure why the alert hasn't hit. The alerts for everything else and other subs earlier was working. You want to quit now, bot? Why you gotta do this to Muskeg? Muskeg's a great viewer, a regular hangout. Bot? Regardless of the bot not answering, thank you for that resub. ¿Qué pasa, masa? Your name's reminding me of George Carlin. All right, I'm hearing this coming to an end here as far as the amount of liquid we got back here. This chicken needs a little more time, so I'm gonna add a bit more water in there. We'll keep that party going. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us, Pauline. So let's get some cheese ready since everything else isn't working for me tonight. Actually, why don't we throw these peppers in with the chicken? We'll cook the peppers with the chicken because I'm more wanting to get the direct heat for the onions than peppers. The peppers, they can just sort of stew with the chicken. What's your favorite use of masa? I could make it hard for you and say other than tortillas. It's also reversed the muskeg. It's also reversed the name with the action, which is royally frustrating me. I was biting my tongue on it earlier when the screen just had nothing but new subscriber on it, and the new subscriber in world's smallest text in comparison. It's supposed to be the name in giant letters and new subscriber in small words. Yeah, tamales was the second, like... That reminds me, it's been a while since I made pupusas. We had that as a lesson du jour not too long ago in the Discord, didn't we? Let's see here. I guess it was longer ago than I thought. Nope. Wow, we're going deep to find nixtamalization. I know it's there somewhere, but what I'm referring to is I have a lesson du jour thingy in my Discord. And I'm actually really liking it. I don't know how many people other are, but reading it, but it's AI generator, but it's actual factual food stories about old entrepreneurs, old technology, old advances in food, and it just does a different one, a different, like, 3-paragraph little story every day. Sniper, what does that thing do? It doesn't seem to be showing the overlay properly, which work in progress. But you'll notice the first one chocolate went up by 1, and the second one, bacon went up by 1. Which one does your which is your favorite? Do you want bacon or do you want chocolate? And get the Parmesan and the Gruyère out here. The overlays it's supposed to show is either bacon or chocolate with there's a chocolate heart, and the bacon one I sort of forget what it is. I think it's duct taped onto the screen. Yeah, it's a little weird how it's doing that, so is it only counting one of them a day? That actually sort of tracks. The LLM automatically well, you're only gonna have one of those a day. Let me check the log and see if it actually... One of the other lovely things that LLMs love to do is ignore existing code and completely rewrite shit that doesn't need to be rewritten. And so what it has done with this channel point thing is it's bypassing my previously written standardized method for awarding sprinkles and Hall of Fame points to someone for actions and trying to do it on its own. And because I have already dealt with this with LMs in the past and have code in there saying, no, you can't do this, it's erroring out. They design everything so you have to go back. It's like the next level of planned obsolescence. Incomplete code. Code design that need fixing later. I'm hearing you. We've cooked down all that water that was in there. I think we're going to add some more. Because chicken, almost there. A little more though. And this is the Parmesan part, going finer with the Parmesan. I'm just sitting here watching the errors pile up in the log and getting more and more triggered by the fact that I have spent most of my day trying to fix half of this shit, and it's just continuing to cause me issues. Chicken's looking great though. And now we're finally there with the chicken. Now it's starting to break when I hit it in there. Hit it. I'm going to go ahead and roll out this bread, this dough, and make it into something that I can use as far as an envelope and allow it to rest once again as that folded out envelope. All right, continue poofing. I guess I should have shown that on the overview scene, but we got a nice, decent sized, like that would make a decent pie, pizza pie. That amount of bread and the stretch that I've got off of that is pretty impressive tonight. I sort of nailed that ratio, I think. This is pretty much where we want just chicken just basically almost fall apart just a little. Just a little bit of encouragement needed for it to strip apart. This looks like a good candidate to be reused. Just got a little olive oil in it from the bread. We'll reuse you too. Like, that's another one. They're not playing properly, are they? No. I spent several prompts last night telling it, play a goddamn ad when I want it to play a goddamn ad. It's not doing it. Wrote 50 damn lines saying, you know, here, this is how it's going to work through the WebSocket to OBS. It's going to click that and going to send it straight to Twitch Event Sub. Nope. How many streams has it been where the ads have been acting up? I've asked it every single stream. I was worried about before with AI about the whole them essentially monetizing information. Even worse than that, I think, now is the lack of accountability built into them. Because it's not that they have all the information, it's they're gatekeeping it too. Not just monetarily, but like, we got an issue with you, we're not going to give you information anymore. And you can in turn look at how our government is currently in the U.S., how the U.S. government is currently going right now, and how that could be bad. I should be preheating my oven right now. I will do that now. I want to give this bread a little bit longer to poof before I stuff it. Why does it look like there's a hole in it on screen? Oh, is that a dirt on my screen? I think that's dirt on my screen on the way up there. It looks on my screen like there's a hole in it right about here. Actually, right about there. There ain't a hole in it. It's sort of strange that screen got it. Like, then again, my ceiling's gotten it a fair amount in my life. Anyone that was here for the champagne night. Ugh. But, yeah. I didn't expect splatter to hit the screen up there all that often. So why don't we take a 10-minute breather here and allow the oven to heat up, allow our bread to poof before we stuff it, and we'll come back, we'll make an egg wash, we'll wrap up our little chicken baby, and bake her off. I'll see all your lovely faces in about 10 minutes.
Something different for a change? Then try the perfect refreshment. Chili Dilly, a delicious pickle treat that's spiced just right for every bite. Economical, too. There's no waste. You eat every bit of the juicy goodness of Chili Dilly. How about trying one right now? Chili Dilly, on sale at our concession stand. You'll love 'em.
A pleasure, Milton. In just a moment, we'll see how well Milton does at the Pentagon. But if you want to see busy hands at your house, just you offer this lively Christmas party dip that's so good to serve with king-size Fritos corn chips. Just follow the recipe right on the Fritos package. Of course, it calls for the famous Philadelphia brand cream cheese, an 8-ounce package, which we blended with 2 tablespoons of milk till it's nice and smooth, like so. Then come 2 tablespoons of Kraft cream-style horseradish for zesty flavor, a 1/4 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and finally, a dash of salt. And we'll blend our Philly mixture again. And when party time comes, let the folks enjoy this wonderful Philly horseradish dip with crisp king-size Fritos. There are those busy hands. Just remember, you make the best-tasting dips with the freshest-tasting cream cheese you can buy. Philadelphia brand cream cheese, made only by Kraft.
And now, before the next show starts, let's enjoy an intermission. You'll find our snack bar chock full of good things to eat and drink. Tasty, tempting hot dogs, thirst-quenching soft drinks, fresh, crunchy popcorn, a complete assortment of delicious candy, and a full line of cigarettes. You've plenty of time, so visit the snack bar now. A tasty treat will double your enjoyment of the show. For your convenience, we shall keep you informed of the remaining intermission time, 3 minutes before the next show starts.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
The next show will start in 2 minutes.
Yes, Toddy, the chocolate malt in a can.
It's so good hot. It's so good cold.
It hits the spot with young and old.
Yes, toddy pleases everybody. Delicious chocolate malted toddy, made with rich, real milk, not powdered milk.
So come and get it, everybody. It's time to drink your chocolate toddy.
Just a minute, folks. Yes, that's all it takes to visit our refreshment counter in the lobby. There you'll find popcorn and an assortment of popular candy bars to please every taste. Try one of these delicious candy bars. Big Time, Butternut, Milkshake, Payday. Topped with Hollywood's super rich coating of the kind you like best. They taste wonderful, they're delicious, they're nutritious. Get one at our confection counter in the lobby now.
The next show will start in 1 minute.
Alexis Lachine wines are full of flavor. Alexis Lachine wines are dry. Alexis Lachine wines are mellow. Drink an Alexis Lachine wine with any kind of food. Or anytime you feel like relaxing with a drink. Alexis Lachine, fine French wines.
Say, do you remember this old milk glass satin hen? Well, you know, milk glass was an early American favorite. And when the folks in the old days wanted something really delightful, they'd take one of their milk glass goblets and pour some very fine wine right into it. Well, now you know it's Welch's wine that is keeping this wonderful tradition alive. A real wine for folks who really want the best. Yes, today's answer to this age-old family tradition is Welch's family wine, the answer to warm hospitality and really gracious living, and the wine that so many Americans enjoy these wintry days. You know, there is very good reason for this ever-increasing popularity of Welch's wine. Now, you folks know that all sweet Concord kosher wines are made from grape juice. And everybody knows who has been making the very finest grape juice for the past 85 years. Welch's, of course. And that's right, the only kosher wine made from Welch's grape juice is naturally Welch's kosher wine. Now, when you want the best in grape juice, you buy Welch's. So, doesn't it make sense then, if you want the best and most delicious kosher wine, you insist on Welch's family wine? You get several bottles tomorrow. Try the half-gallon size. You enjoy the wine of all occasions. That's right, when it comes to wine, you'll do well to insist on Welch's.
Everybody's got the beat. Started out where cable cars play this song. Not right at home before very long. Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
From San Francisco, famous for food, comes Rice-A-Roni, the exciting new side dish. Here at last is a welcome change, a change from potatoes. Now you can serve Rice-A-Roni, a delicious side dish with meat, chicken, or fish. And you make Rice-A-Roni in minutes. Everything's right in the box. A packet of soup base, rice, and vermicelli that you brown in butter. Add the special herb-flavored broth, and in minutes, Rice-A-Roni. Fluffy, fragrant. A wonderful change from potatoes.
Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat. Satisfying cups of pleasure. A coffee break makes the moment right. Fresh aroma, friendly flavor. Make it coffee, make it often, make it right.
To brighten any moment.
Make it coffee.
To enjoy that fresh aroma.
Make it often.
Make it up fresh each time in a clean container. And for full flavor,
make it right.
And here's how. For each cup of fresh drawn water, use one approved measure of your favorite coffee. That's all, one approved measure per cup.
Satisfying cups of pleasure. A coffee break makes the moment bright. Fresh aroma, friendly flavor. Make it coffee. Make it often. Make it right.
Schmidt's Blue Ribbon Bread gives you 7 ounces of non-fat milk solids in every loaf, the equal of 90 quarts a year if you serve it regularly. Every sandwich you make, every snack, gives you extra milk. For wonderful flavor combined with sound food values, serve Schmidt's Blue Ribbon Bread in the pantry pack.
Hey, kids, look what's new. A brand new cereal just for you. Twinkles, the new star-shaped cereal in the storybook package. See? Inside, delicious, crispy, crinkly stars. And outside, a real storybook. All about Twinkles, the magic elephant. See him fly with his rotor tail. Watch him do tricks with his magic trunk. Meet Twinkle's friends, Fulton the inventor, Sanford the parrot, Wilbur the monkey, and more. Read all about their adventures on every storybook package of Twinkles. And wait till you taste those golden little stars, filled with the goodness of energy oats and corn. Remember, only Twinkles has the storybook package. Just tear the magic line and your storybook opens. Twinkles, the new star-shaped cereal in the storybook package.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get the audio music going again. There we go. Got our bread looking a little more poofy. Even though you probably can't see that, it doesn't really come across on camera great. Oven's up to 400 degrees. Why don't we go ahead and make an egg wash here real quick? Which shall I make my egg wash in tonight? Do I have any small cups in there? I do not. Thought I'd see how well the brush will emulsify this versus it's not great. I think I'm gonna switch over to a fork here. Splash of dairy. Couple of drops. Seriously, all you need will improve the whole thing. Actually, adding a whole lot is a bad idea because it just has to really sort of cook off. You just want a little bit of that milk protein in there with... Actually, I'm talking out my butt. I can't remember what exactly it is. It does. But I do know a small little bit does help. Both from experience and from what I have read and forgotten. But whether it's the milk proteins or the lecithin or Alright, so we're getting our dough, moving our dough a bit closer now. Nice and stretchy now, too. Alright. So we start this project of filling this with our cheese. We're going to create sort of a layer or barrier of cheese here that is where our chicken and peppers are going to go. Vinegar, chicken, and peppers. And then we're going to also add, to cheese this up even more, some sour cream in with the and only a little bit of a mix up of that. And then this whole thing is going in here to the in the center horizontally, but to the edges, or in the center vertically, but to the edges horizontally. Now the fun part. Let's see if I can cheat. Nope. Who in chat realizes what I just did wrong and sort of like, really? And proof that I did not break the bottom. Look at that. Came close. Came damn close. Alright, egg wash. Over the top of all of it. If I wanted to spend even more time and come out with an even better product, we could let this sit together for a little bit. Garlic over the top. salt over the top. What was the last thing I was thinking of? Darn it. Hi, Blake. It's a little bit. Yeah, it's a little early for that. I guess it's tomorrow. Yeah. I don't pay attention to these sort of things. Wait. And then now it did play ads? What? I'm curious, does Rizal have a new definition in modern day? Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and throw this into our 400-degree oven, and hopefully we'll have ourselves a nicely stuffed piece of bread. I stopped there because I didn't know how to define that shape other than just a blob. Artisan. Next problems. Well, not really a problem, but I think we're going to do something here with our leftover sour cream. I just don't know what. What should I mix my sour cream for with this? Do I go ranch style? Do I go spicy? Hey, knowledge. Welcome, welcome. That was the plan, Blake. I just didn't know what direction I wanted to go with using that bit of sour cream up. It's a little bit more than a little. It's a sizable amount. Trying to think what I've got in my fridge that I want to mix in with that without going into my fridge. Doing the open the fridge and stare routine doesn't... Yeah. Let's get the last of this out and into a bowl here. let's do Worcestershire. Tabasco. And honey. I think we need more Tabasco. And maybe lemon juice for some acidity, if there isn't enough from the hot sauce. More or less hot honey, sour cream. If you're one of those hot honey fanatics. It's there on the end. I'm still going to give it more acid. Need something to round that Tabasco off now, though. I've got the heat there with it. Sort of debating if I want to go with more heat or I can go with a bit of cayenne. Yeah, now the heat's a little more balanced. It was all in the finish before, in the cayennes. Bring it to the front. Tabasco, it's really on the finish. Yeah, nice. Sweet, creamy, spicy. Did I set a timer when I put that thing in there? I did not, did I? I'm gonna guess there's at least 10 minutes still on that. Let's check in on our Discord vote for next Wednesday. I have a feeling that bourbon's gonna win that one. Just perhaps. Along with all the other fun stuff I was doing with Landslide, yes. All the other fun stuff with LMs today. I totally forgot what I was gonna... I totally am having one of those walk through a door moments. What was the other thing? Oh, Monday. How quickly I forget. I put a plan in there for Monday because Tuesday is Fat Tuesday. We're gonna have Fat Monday. I'm gonna do jambalaya and a Bananas Foster Dutch Baby. And that's obviously after Sunday's Can It Be Delicious. You know, before the bot responded, I thought that was some sort of like Gen Z thing. Sure. Yeah, but your kids are... Influence rubs off. Both ways. I don't feel like cleaning. We're waiting on this to cook another couple of minutes, but... Yeah, I think I was debating actually the other day whether I should remove that one. Like, it was absolutely for the memes. And it does sort of feel like it's getting long in the tooth. Like, kids been doing this for a minute now. And I don't even, like, I'm not even, like, in school or something. Like, I don't have them saying that to every video they see or whatever. And I still feel like, yeah, they've been doing that for a minute. I also worked on the poll today. I made the poll more flexible to be less about food. And so hopefully we'll now get some questions that aren't what ingredients do you have at your pizza party? And like, it wasn't my intention. Like, it seems to keep focusing in on food with the prompts it's making, when, like, I sort of put it in there, this is a food community, but it's not really the point of the poll to be constantly polling people about food. A little under 3 minutes left on the timer that I arbitrarily set at an unknown time from when I started. You see, that's why AI is actually, like, recording all this is so much better than like, you slip up on putting it in there and knowing the exact time you put it in there. And if I were writing a recipe on this, I have to go back and refigure it all out. And video makes it a lot easier in that I can actually do that. But now AI is just gonna pull it out. That is, if it listens to you and does what you want it to do. But it'll at least be capable of doing that. If you're on the hot, we paid enough this month list. All right, so yeah, we're getting pretty close here. I don't know we're gonna make it for you to get back. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Be back here on Sunday. Minute left on oven. We're gonna give that a little bit longer. Let's say 5 more minutes. So yeah, gonna take a couple more minutes, but not too long. Let's see what we got going on. What the very airy bot has got for me as far as news for tonight. politics, 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 even though I'm filtering out politics for food. Nothing much there. On to our third list. Ain't nothing here as far as news to chat about. Or that I want to chat about. Which country eats crocodile? We do. The answer to which country eats crocodile most prominently is Australia. I have no idea the authenticity of all this. However, this unique delicacy is also enjoyed in Southeast Asia, Africa, and even parts of North America. I've had crocodile. Actually, I don't know if I've had crocodile and or alligator. I've had it several times, but I don't remember which one's been, and yeah, if it's always been the same. I know 2 or 3 of them were at the Chicago Food Show, which I would love to go back to at some point. Maybe I should look into that. I think that's in May. If you're unfamiliar, the NRA food show in the McCormick Center of Chicago is one of the largest food and drink restaurant shows. At least it was a good 10 years ago. I'm unsure of its current status. I don't think that it's largely changed. NRA is still a big player. National Restaurant Association, not Rifles Restaurants. Did I say restaurants, not rifles? Anyways. Very impressive trade show. And like I said, going there, tried several types of such reptilian. Let's see. Yeah, that's looking a little more along the lines we're looking for. A little bit of light color. For those just tuning in, that big blob of bread that you see in front of you is stuffed with some delicious 2 vinegar braised chicken, peppers, cheese of 3 types. We got sour cream, we got Parmesan, we got Gruyere in there. Not too shabby. I could have done better with the wrapping of this. I should have thought to do the wrapping of the whole thing on parchment so that I could just move the parchment. It would have been a lot easier logistically. I wouldn't have been playing games with the large spatula in order to get it onto parchment. So if you do this or something similar at home, I suggest putting the dough on the pan or what you're going to work on or what you're going to bake it on. Then fill it. Don't fill it and then try and move it. That was actually a pretty rookie mistake there. And do we go for, I think we're going to go for this. I want to give this a moment to cool and rest and finish out. And cut the heat on the stove. And I'm also debating how I want to cut this, because this is not going to just get lifted up and torn apart, as much as I would love to do that. Interesting. Doesn't say the there it is. Okay. It does say. Now we're going to use the large plate. That way I can put the sauce on the plate with it. Let's go for getting another piece of parchment dirty. Why not? Why, you ask? Because the metal is very good at removing the heat from this. But that metal, I took it off of, it was already hot. We add it to cold metal. It's got to heat this metal up in order to Though the way that worked, I do think I'm going to try and pull this apart on camera. So you do get that fun action. I do think this is capable of being lifted and torn. I'm just procrastinating now, I guess, waiting for it to cool off a little bit. Take a moment here and do a little checking on things to begin. Okay, tear apart time. Let's see what we've created. Bit too warm for my hands. So we'll throw on some gloves. Like, I don't even know, like, this is... I don't even know what nation to, like, file this dish under. Is it Italian? Is it I don't know why the camera stopped following me. It hasn't been following me for a minute. I've just been living with it. So there we have it for tonight. We have our vinegar braised chicken and pepper stuffed bread with a sour cream hot honey dipping sauce. Yeah. Grab a couple of photos for the Discord. Now we got this on plate, we'll pull it apart even further. We got chicken, peppers, Gruyère, melty Gruyère, Parmesan, sour cream, all seasoned, top covered in garlic seasoning, salt, and egg wash. But I do think this is where we are going to end things this lovely evening. Looking to see who's out there to read out to, go say hello to. Let's see here. Why don't we go say hello to John Leon? Been a minute since I've said hello to John. As I mentioned earlier, we have Can It Be Delicious on Sunday. So come back here on Sunday and have a vote and decide what cans I have to use to make dinner on Sunday. It's always fun. And then Monday, we're doing Mardi Gras. So, I mean, it sounds like a great weekend. I hope you all have some fun. Go out, have some good, cause some good trouble. Good night.